Now let us see read-only memory ROM. Both SRAM and DRAM chips are volatile, that is they lose the stored information if power is turned off. Many applications requires non-volatile memory which retains the stored information if power is turned off. For example, OS software has to be loaded from disk to memory, that is it requires a non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memory is used in embedded system. Since the normal operation involves only reading of the stored data, a memory of this type is called ROM. At logic value 0, transistor is connected to the ground point P. Transistor switch is closed and voltage on bit line nearly drops to 0. See the figure 8.11. At logic value 1, transistor's switch is open. The bit line remains at high voltage. To read the state of the cell, the word line is activated. A sense circuit at the end of the bit line generates the proper output value. Types of ROM. Different types of non-volatile memory are PROM, EPROM, EEPROM and flash memory, flash cards and flash drives. PROM, programmable ROM. PROM allows the data to be loaded by the user. Programmability is achieved by inserting fuse at point P in a ROM cell. Before PROM is performed, the memory contains all zeros. User can insert ones at different required location by burning out fuse using high current pulse. This process is irreversible advantages. It provides flexibility, it is faster, it is less expensive because they can be programmed directly by the user. Now let us see EPROM, erasable programmable ROM. EPROM allows stored data to be erased and new data to be loaded. In cell, a connection to ground is always made to P and a special transistor is used. The transistor has the ability to function as a normal transistor or a disabled transistor that is always turned off. Transistor can be programmed to behave as a permanently open switch by injecting charge into it. Eraser requires dissipating the charges trapped in the transistor of memory cells. This can be done by exposing the chip to ultraviolet light. Advantages: it provides flexibility during the development phase of the digital system. It is capable of retaining the stored information for a long time. Disadvantages: the chip must be physically removed from the circuit for reprogramming. The entire contents need to be erased by UV light. EEPROM, electrically erasable ROM. Advantages: it can be both programmed and erased electrically. It allows the erasing of all cell contents selectively. Disadvantage: it requires a different voltage for erasing, writing and reading the stored data. Flash memory. In EEPROM, it is possible to read and write the contents of a single cell. In flash device, it is possible to read contents of a single cell and write entire contents of a block. Prior to writing, the previous contents of the block are erased. Example: in MP3 player, the flash memory stores the data that represents sound. Single flash chips cannot provide sufficient storage capacity for embedded system. Advantages: flash drives have greater density which leads to higher capacity and low cost per bit. It requires a single power supply voltage and consumes less power. There are two methods of implementing larger memory: flash cards and flash drives. Flash cards. One way of constructing larger module is to mount flash chips on a small card. Such a flash card have standard interface. The card is simply plugged into a conveniently accessible slot. Memory size of the card can be 8, 32 or 64 MB. Example: a minute of music can be stored in 1 MB of memory. Hence 64 MB flash cards can store an hour of music. Now let us see flash drives. Larger flash memory can be developed by replacing the hard disk drive. The flash drives are designed to fully emulate the hard disk. The flash drives are solid state electronic devices that have no movable parts. Advantages: they have a shorter seek and access time, which results in faster response. They have low power consumption. They are attractive for battery driven application. They are insensitive to vibration. Disadvantages: the capacity of the flash drive is less than 1 GB, is less than hard disk greater than 1 GB. It leads to higher cost per bit. Flash memory will weaken after it has been written a number of times, typically at least 1 million times. Now let us see speed, size, cost. See the tables. The main memory can built with DRAM. See the figure 8.14. Thus, SRAMs are used in smaller units where speed is of essence. The cache memory is of two types: primary processor cache level 1 or L1 cache. It is always located on the processor chip. Secondary cache level 2 or L2 cache. It is placed between the primary cache and the rest of the memory. The memory is implemented using the dynamic components SIMM, RIMM, DIMM. The access time for main memory is about 10 times longer than the access time for L1 cache. Now let us see cache memories. The effectiveness of cache mechanism is based on the property of locality of reference. Many instructions in the localized areas of program are executed repeatedly during some time period. Remainder of the program is accessed relatively infrequently. See the figure 8.15. There are two types of temporal. The recently executed instructions are likely to be executed again very soon. Spatial. Instructions in close proximity to recently executed instruction are also likely to be executed soon. If active segment of program is placed in cache memory, then total execution time can be reduced. Block refers to the set of contiguous address locations of the some size. The cache line is used to refer to the cache block. The cache memory stores a reasonable number of blocks at a given time. This number of blocks is small compared to the total number of blocks available in main memory. Correspondence between main memory block and cache memory block is specified by mapping function. Cache control hardware decides which block should be removed to create space for the new block. The collection of the rule for making this decision is called replacement algorithm. The cache control circuit determines whether the requested word currently exists in the cache. The write operation is done in two ways: write through protocol and write back protocol. Write through protocol. Here the cache location and the main memory locations are updated simultaneously. Write back protocol. This technique is to update only the cache location and mark the cache location with associated flag bit called dirty or modified bit. The word in memory will be updated later when the marked block is removed from cache. During read operation, if the requested word currently not exist in the cache, then read miss will occur. To overcome the read miss, load through or early restart protocol is used. Load through protocol. The block of the words that contains the requested word is copied from the memory into cache. After the entire block is loaded into cache, the requested word is forwarded to processor. During write operation, if the requested word not exist in the cache, the write miss will occur. If write through protocol is used, the information is written directly into main memory. If write back protocol is used, then block containing the addressed word is first brought into the cache, and then the desired word in the cache is overwritten with the new information. Mapping function. Here we discuss about three different mapping function: direct mapping, associative mapping, and set associative mapping. Now let us see direct mapping. The block J of the main memory maps onto block J modulo 128 of the cache. If you see the figure 8.16, when the memory blocks 0, 128 and 256 are loaded into cache, the block is stored in cache block 0. Similarly, memory blocks 1, 129, 257 are stored in the cache block 1. The contention may arise when the cache is full, when more than one memory block is mapped onto a given cache block position. The contention is resolved by allowing the new blocks to overwrite the currently resident block. Memory address determines placement of a block in the cache. The memory address is divided into three fields. Low order 4-bit field, select one of the 16 words in a block. 7-bit cache block field, 7-bit determine the cache position in which a new block must be stored. 5-bit tag field, 5-bit memory address of block is stored in 5 tag bits associated with cache location. As execution proceeds, 5-bit tag field of memory address is compared with tag bits associated with cache location. If they match, then the desired word is in that block of the cache. Otherwise, the block containing required word must be first read from the memory and then the word must be loaded into the cache. Associative mapping. The memory block can be placed into any cache block position. See the figure 8.17. 12 tag bits will identify a memory block when it is resolved in the cache. Tag bits of an address received from the processor are compared to the tag bits of each block of cache. This comparison is done to see if the desired block is present. It gives complete freedom in choosing the cache location. A new block that has to be brought into the cache has to replace an existing block if the cache is full. The memory has to determine whether a given block is in the cache. Advantage: it is more flexible than direct mapping technique. Disadvantage: its cost is high. Now let us see set associative mapping. It is the combination of direct and associative mapping. See the figure 8.18. The block of the cache are grouped into sets. The mapping allows a block of the main memory to reside in any block of the specified set. The cache has 2 blocks per set, so the memory blocks 0, 64, 128 up to 4032 maps into the cache set 0. The cache can occupy either of the 2 block position within the set. 6-bit set field determines which set of cache contains the desired block. 6-bit tag field, the tag field of the address is compared to the tags of the 2 blocks of the set. This comparison is done to check if the desired block is present. The cache which contains 1 block per set is called direct mapping. The cache that has k blocks per set is called k-way set associative cache. Each block contains a control bit called a valid bit. The valid bit indicates that whether the block contains valid data. The dirty bit indicates that whether the block has been modified during its cache residency. Valid bit 0 when power is initially applied to the system. Valid bit is equal to 1 when the block is loaded from main memory at first time. If the main memory block is updated by a source and if the block in the source is already exists in the cache, then the valid bit will be cleared to 0. If processor and DMA uses the same copies of data, then it is called cache coherence problem. Advantages: contention problem of direct mapping is solved by having few choices for block replacement. The hardware cost is decreased by reducing the size of the associative search. Now let us see replacement algorithm. In direct mapping method, the position of each block is predetermined and there is no need of replacement strategy. In associative and set associative method, the block position is not predetermined. If the cache is full and if new blocks are brought into the cache, then the cache controller must decide which of the old blocks has to be replaced. When a block is to be overwritten, the block with the longest time W or O being referenced is overwritten. This block is called least recently used block and the technique is called LRU algorithm. The cache controller tracks the references to all blocks with the help of the block counter. Advantage performance of LRU is improved by randomness in deciding which block is to be overwritten. Example, consider 4 blocks are set in set associative cache. 2-bit counter can be used for each block. When a hit occurs, then block counter is equal to 0 if the counter with values originally lower than the referenced one are incremented by 1 and all others remain unchanged. When a miss occurs and if the set is full, the blocks with the counter value 3 is removed. The new block is put in its place and its counter is set to 0 and other block counters are incremented by 1. See the replacement algorithm in words.